my guidance counselor.
Every 6 months.
Oh my gosh.
George's wife
Watch.
What is your plan? There's
down the street.
a little bit.
Are you sure? Okay, before it starts? Yeah. Go ahead, let it look. Oh, hi. Sit here. Sit
We were just in Boston. We got out some of the
I was driving, and there were cars spinning out around me. So I was it's okay. You need credit for it. Yep, that's exactly what I thought too.
I was gonna tell you soon about I think she's got it.
No, sign-in sheet. Yeah, we'll be there all day. Yeah. Great. Thank you so much.
He's got such a personality.
How are
Yeah, we did one day.
No, I don't need any new. This is like one of the
how you doing? Oh, Stuart?
During the meeting or your presentation, I don't even really
I want you to call Georgia Greenlee. She's awesome.
Great, thank you.
You'll really enjoy getting to know her.
Yeah, same.
You're coming here on Friday again, right?
I got cash.
Okay.
Yeah, we are. We
Got it. Okay, sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you. And your first name one more time?
Sophia.
Sophia.
Yes.
Carmen.
You too.
This is Sophia.
Hi. Nice to meet you. I'm with NBC5. Awesome. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yes. Thank you.
You're I don't know if you're a member of the commission, which you could say. Hey, how are you? How's it going? Good. Andrew Wiley.
Andrew Blake.
Nice to meet you. So, I don't think we've met. Did we meet?
In Peru, yeah.
So we'll have a seat.
I'd like to sit on the end.
But it's a
I'm excited.
Carmen.
what grade is your daughter?
I mean, it's in college, but it's, you know.
Yeah. I
So yeah. Looks. That's him. Yes.
Trying to stay out of the way.
Yeah, that's okay.
Running back.
She starts to leave down. When she's sitting child. No, never. Ever. I hope not. Locks and we're You're definitely paying attention.
You're sending a text.
And then okay. I love it. And then he can have a conversation and and I'm like, all right, well, yes. We're back. We're back. Thank you. Just like a little word. Just like, I don't know how to rush to take this into like just like, you know, if anyone says anything,
Hey, how's it going? Nice to see you. What was your first name again? Christine. Christine, we met in Beekmanton.
yes, we did. You know, just telling my wife about my kids, asking about politics.
Oh boy.
At 6 years old.
Oh boy. Oh, she was in the
Okay, so they're, and they should be, and they are very coming from, you know, my brother, you know, freaking out that he's only graduated with 3.8 something from pharmacy, you know, very, you know, very not bad. Something gonna be right there. Super I know, right? Like Spanish. Yeah. Like, and I'm like, well, she is. Yeah. She is like, how do you protect her? Very scary, you know? But she's aware of what's going on. Like, research, very senior. What's your incumbent I think it's fun. Nice to see you guys. I heard about you from Alexis. Have you seen it? Just because it's are they going to do that? You were supposed to
I was vice chairman of the $1 billion dairy.
Yes, he is.
I can have a tendency to story tell my way on. I can talk the dog off of a leash.
They're all moving on.
Do you have cards?
Yeah, some of them are caretakers. There's also work up there, and they come down and help. Yep.
Be happy to have
Something like I can't remember. I'm not for going there. They have everyone
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And to Heather, we'll do our roll call of down. I'll keep an eye on voting for you.
Altoona.
Here.
Ostable. Beekman.
Here!
Champlain. JC.
Here.
Clinton. Danamora.
Here.
Ellenberg.
Here.
Moores.
Here.
Peru.
Here.
Town of Plattsburgh.
Here.
Saranac. Here. Scatter Falls.
Here.
Here. City Ward 1.
Here.
2. Here. 3.
Here.
4.
Here.
5. Here. And 6. 6.
And before we get to the introduction and approval of committee members, very important that we all sing happy birthday to the Kevin Padnos. All together now. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kevin. Happy birthday to you.
Thanks, everybody.
You paid me to do that, Kevin. All right, chairs, introduction and approval of committee members. So chairs, do you have anyone you need to add or you need to take off your list? Yes, hand in the back, Dana.
Hey, it's Dana Isabella, Town of Plattsburgh. I want to make a motion to add Diane Pelletier to District 1, Melissa Joyce and Patricia Barnett to District 3, Dan Bosley to District 6, and remove Donna Ruggieri and Terry Broderick. And I'll give you a sticky note after.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Any other chairs need to add or remove committee members at this time? The petitions will take care of it too, so if you want to wait until then, that's absolutely fine, or any meeting we do this at the beginning. All right, we'll take a motion to approve adding and subtracting as modified for the town of Plattsburgh. Motion, please. All right, in a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, and the reading of the minutes, they're available up front. Also, if you haven't signed in, please take the chance to do that. Your attendance is based on sign-in sheets, not the Brady, I was there, you saw me. It has to be on the sign-in sheet. And also, we have some stuff up there from our candidates. So just you want her to read them?
Start reading.
Yep. Thanks, Jeff. And a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor of approving the meeting minutes from January?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Thank you, motion carries. And just real quick, it's a special meeting, obviously, packed house, and I love that. It makes me nervous, but I love seeing that everyone is excited to be here and engaged and to hear what's going on. We are super lucky to have so many candidates joining us tonight. And so we're gonna just start with, just because I'm doing ladies first, and then we'll do the 21st in alphabetical order. So first, please, Melissa Steele, if you'd come forward, Melissa Steele.
I don't know, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Do I need a mic? Zoom, can you hear? Can you hear me? Oh, this is, right. Are you guys on Zoom? I would assume so, unless otherwise stated. I'm the first one to go, great. Melissa Steele, I'm running for the state senate seat against Dan Steck. I feel passionate about doing this, much like all of you. Everything that's been going on today in this country. I went from a position of reading in disbelief, saying, oh, someone's gonna do something, right? Something's gonna happen, right? To curling up in a fetal position going, oh no, 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 no. To actually deciding to do something. You know, it's my way of giving back and doing what I feel we should do in a situation like this. I want to stand up for everybody. I was just endorsed by the Working Families Party Group. I'm really happy with that. I am a psychiatric nurse practitioner. I specialize in pediatric mental health. I own a practice in Glens Falls, New York called Well Child. And I deal with families every day that are struggling, that are seeking to make ends meet, to get care for their families. I'm dealing with Medicaid every day, a system that's broken and is giving families and providers less and less. We talk about increasing access in the North Country. We talk about we need more medical services, but what's happening on the other end as providers is we're getting less and less and less from Medicaid. And I'm spending a majority of my time fighting on the phone with insurance companies to get children medications that they've been on for years, and now all of a sudden it's a fight. So I want to make change, and I live it every day, and these are the changes I want to make. I want to make changes for the people in this room, for the people of this district. I'm not doing this just because I want to run for office. I'm not the politician type, but I am the passionate go-getter type. If I see a problem, I want to fix it. I started a nonprofit foundation, the Well Child Foundation, which actually brings together services in Warren and Washington County so that to help families navigate services, because it's confusing what's available out there to them. So my goal is to bring people together. I'm not a finger pointer and blaming people, and I feel that's what Dan Steck does, unfortunately, I have to say. Can't get this done, it's the Democrats' fault. I am someone that seeks to bring people together. I will work with Republicans. I will work with Democrats. If it makes sense, I'm solutions driven. That's where my focus is. So I'm not about making excuses and finger pointing. I'm about finding what we can do and bringing people together. You know, this petition season, and a lot of you, some of you are going to be going out and getting petitions signed. And I thank all of you for all the work that you do, not only doing petition signing, but making a comment on the Facebook pages. Just really supporting the candidates that you believe in. All of it matters. You may not be running like me, but every time you tell a neighbor about me or about the movement, that makes a difference. You vote, that makes a difference. So thank you for all you do. Every petition you get signed is a conversation. Every conversation is a relationship. And every relationship builds the foundation to getting your candidates, getting them to win in November. So thank you for all that you do. We're going to be doing a lot of fundraising, because I just started a couple weeks ago. And I know you always hear candidates talking about, fundraising, donate now. But it's true. We need to get a certain amount of matching funds in order to make matching funds. We need 150 separate donations, $12,000, and then the state starts giving us more money for our campaigns to do what we need to do. So please, I just ask you, if you want to find out more about me, I won't go into all the points, but forsealforsenate.com is a website. We have a couple events coming up, and we really appreciate your support in any way that you can give it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Melissa. Up next is our candidate, Judge Christine Clark. She's running for re-election, Supreme Court Justice. Christine.
I think I'm a loud talker. Can everybody hear me okay? Well, I'm Christine Clark, and I am a Supreme Court Justice. I came to all of you 14 years ago. Yes, 14 years. An elected Supreme Court term in New York is the longest elected term in the United States. So I've been lucky to be out of politics for the last 14 years. Actually, I haven't been allowed to engage in politics for the last 14 years. And I'm here to ask for your support tonight. I was lucky enough, after being elected to Supreme Court, which is the highest trial court in New York. We're different than every other state. Our highest court is the Court of Appeals, then below that is the Appellate Division, and below that is Supreme Court. So I got elected to the Supreme Court, and I was lucky enough 2 years after that for the governor to appoint me to the Appellate Division. So what that means is I actually sit down in Albany and I hear cases from 28 counties. I'm running for the 4th Judicial District. This is where it gets crazy. It's actually 11 counties, and I live in the very bottom county. So I live in Schenectady County, and my district comes all the way up here to the Canadian border, all the way west to the St. Lawrence River, and all the way east to Vermont. So it is basically the size of a congressional district, but I am not a congressional candidate. So I'm here tonight to ask for all of your support and your help. There's individuals in this room who helped me 14 years ago, and I know they made a huge difference by telling members of their book club, writing postcards to their neighbors, and just helping me get my name out. And that's what I really need you to do. I'm also a mom. When I ran the first time, my kids were pretty little. They are now 18 and 22, and thankfully the 22-year-old, one of her degrees, is in social media. So every time I go to one of these, I talk to her before, and she goes, "Remember to tell them, Mom." I'm like, "Yes, I know." to go to my website, to go to my Facebook page, and particularly my Instagram page. So I'm lucky that I have a 22-year-old who knows what she's doing. And a lot of my time in the last 14 years has been spent as a mom. Right now, I think it's really important that people believe in their judges and believe in us to be able to be fair and impartial. And that's what I believe I've been doing for the last 14 years. So I'm here tonight to ask for your support. I won't take much time. I know there's lots of teammates here, and I'd love to get to meet you all more and speak to you. And if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer. Thank you very much. And thank you to Brandi, the committee. I appreciate the invitation.
I did try to make it around to all the candidates. Just asked them to keep it around 3 minutes. I think I told Blake, there's not a trap door, nothing's gonna happen if you go over that. People wanna go home at a decent time. Also gave them all permission if they need to leave afterwards, because some of them do try to stack different engagements on top of each other. I know there's a little speech tonight that some people need to get to too by somebody in the White House, so. There'll be all the highlights later, I'm sure. All right, so with that, we'll move on to the congressional candidates, and we'll start with Stuart Emerald, please. Thank you. Podium, whatever you need.
Probably don't need the mic.
All right.
Good evening. My name is Stuart Emerald, and thank you for having me here this evening to chat with you all. I'll try not to take up too much time. I have a bad habit at these events, and I have not been able to kick it. My staff tells me I need to stop talking about my positions that cost me votes. And I said, well, no, this is what democracy is about. You stand by a position, you fight for it, and the chips will land where they do. And they say, well, great, Stuart, but you're going to lose. And I said, well, okay, we're still going to have it. We're still going to have that dialogue. And I think tonight, why break the streak? You mentioned a speech tonight. There is a speech tonight. And I do have to leave after this event to watch it. And I put something on Facebook, an event. It is a viewing party for the State of the Union. And I believe strongly in this. And there was a lot of pushback. Why would you watch this? You should boycott it. We shouldn't be listening to this guy. And here's the thing. We have to recognize reality. Donald Trump did not seize power in a coup. He did not storm the White House in the middle of the night and overpower the guards. We, the people, handed him the keys on Election Day.
I didn't.
My point is, he did not steal the election. He was elected. He was elected. And that's the thing. We have to recognize that. We have to recognize that the people of this nation elected him. And that is important for us to recognize. Because if we're to restore American values and American democracy, our nation asks something difficult of us. It is easy to have the conversation with friends, but democracy demands more. It demands that we have conversations with those that we may disagree. Otherwise, we will have a repeat of what we saw last election. And yes, it even demands that we listen to people with whom we may passionately disagree. But when we listen to them, we are better able to articulate our reasons and our solutions to make this a better country. It is not easy, but democracy is not easy. And it's not just important that we listen to it. I want all those who either today support Donald Trump or supported him in the last election, I want them to watch Donald Trump speak. Because then, when we go out into the communities and we have those difficult conversations, not the easy ones with friends, but the difficult ones with those that supported him in the past, after watching him, they may better understand why we say what we say, why we believe what we believe. When we say, if you believe in the equality of all Americans, then we stand together. If you believe that no American should have to pick between seeing a doctor, paying the rent, then we stand together. If you believe that everybody should have the right to love the person of their choosing without the government getting involved, we stand together. It's not easy, but that is the difficult conversation that we have to have. And it is only possible by engaging. So, thank you for having me here this evening. I do have to go and watch something on TV. But thank you, and God bless.
All right, and Blake Dinadine, please. Thank you.
No, but thank you. Thank you to the committee. Thank you to everybody at home. So happy for this technology. And I want to thank all of the hardworking people from Clinton County that have made it here tonight. Took time out of your days to be here to listen to all of us. I'm not a politician. I am a dairy farmer from the St. Lawrence Valley in Lisbon, New York. I'm a husband. Carmen and I have been married for 23 years. She is the biggest asset in my campaign. I could not do this without her. I'm a dad. Carmen and I have 3 boys that worked their little butts off on my farm. They are all right now in college, all 3 of them. So what do you do when you're an empty nester? You run for Congress, right, honey? So also, we milk 500 cows. We farm 1,200 acres. I was most recently elected by farmers on both sides of the aisle to be the vice chairman of Agrimark, which is a $1 billion dairy cooperative that represents 400 farmers from New York and New England and owns the flagship brand Cabot Cheese, which I hope you all know and love. I was the president of the Lisbon Central School. I was the JV basketball coach at Lisbon Central School and the varsity assistant coach. Did I have NBA athletes? No, I didn't. But was it my job to make kids feel really good about themselves so that they played hard? And when kids feel good about themselves, they win. And we won a lot of games. And I had the pleasure of coaching my own kids through all that time, which is wonderful. And Carmen and I started the Jewels of Life Foundation. Through our personal experiences, we can help families when they find out that their child has pediatric cancer. We've helped many, many families. We've expanded it beyond pediatric cancer. We took a young man from Canton named Ridge to the Baltimore Ravens to see his favorite player. Those are really meaningful things to do that entrench you in your community and build goodwill. And we will continue to do that for years and years as a tribute to somebody that we love very, very much. Listen, as a farmer and a local person from the district, I know what it's like to try to afford food. I know what it's like to try to feed 3 hungry boys. It's too expensive. As a small business owner, I know what it's like to sit down and pay FICA and NYS 1. I know what it's like to be a small business owner. I know what it's like to try to pay my bills on my farm. It is hard, and I know what it's like to try to survive in an environment with rising utility costs, rising natural gas costs. Everything's going up. Insurance. It's hard. I know what it's like to farm on the border in a broken immigration system. What happened to Renee Nicole Good and Alex Preddy is an absolute tragedy. Americans across this country getting shot point blank through the window of their vehicle. Tear gas tossed in to human beings' cars. And Alex Preddy getting murdered on the street. It is not okay. No one is above the law, even the Epstein class. No one. We all live within the 4 corners of the United States Constitution, and there is nothing more patriotic than that. That's the America that I believe in, that I want to live in. I know what it's like to try to farm in an environment where the temperature is rising and the climate is changing. We planted 300 acres of soybeans last year. The year before, 400 acres of soybeans. You couldn't plant soybeans 5 years ago. Almost nobody was doing it. We have more growing degree days. There's not a farmer in this country that won't tell you any different. And I know what it's like to raise a family and have aging parents, aunts, and uncles in a county in a north country where the health care is falling apart. I had to take my son Noah all the way to Syracuse when he had mono for a routine nose, ear, and throat appointment because there was no nose, ear, and throat doctor in St. Lawrence County. Now we have Hepburn Hospital collapsing. It's like a view into the crystal ball of what's going to happen after the Medicaid cuts come with the One Big Beautiful Bill. These are not divisive issues. They're issues that matter to people on both sides of the aisle. I told you I'm a farmer. I'm used to working with anyone, and I will continue to do that for the good of the North Country and everyone in this room. I am fighting for you. What's it going to take? it's going to take a lot of resources. Our opponent, Anthony Constantino, has $7.5 million. He's likely going to win that primary. We have raised $4.5 million. We have over $2 million cash on hand. He is spending $100,000 a week today in order to get his name out there. This is a battle. This is a fight, and it's going to take resources and support. Our polling shows that we can beat any Republican that's in this race. We are already ahead. I'm thrilled to deliver that news to you. We have support from Congressman Morelli, who's the conduit to Speaker Jeffries. Formal endorsement from him. Formal endorsement from Congressman Mannion. We have another event coming up with Congressman Raskin. Senator Tester has helped us. We have help from the delegation, and we are building that support and that foundation that we're going to need to win this race for you. And I want to thank you all for the support that you're going to give to all of us and the work that you're going to do going door to door in the nastiest month of the season in the North Country. Because I know that you're all workhorses. You are not show horses. When it's rainy, windy, wet, cold, you're going to go out there to work. We have enough show horses in this country. Let's all be workhorses and get this done. Thank you very much.
Thank you all so much for having me. Can we give it up for Brandi, the first woman to be Clinton County? I'm South Glens Falls, born and raised. My family has lived across New York 21 in the North Country for 7 generations, nearly 200 years dating back to the American Revolution. And I was raised in a family that believed that freedom wasn't just an idea, that it was a promise that you deserve a life of dignity and the opportunity to thrive. My grandpa Tom taught me that. He grew up in the Great Depression over in Hudson Falls and Washington County, very poor. He was the youngest of 3. His mom couldn't afford to raise them as a single mother, and she gave him up. He was taken in by his Aunt Lillian down the street, and he only got by because his neighbors fed him through their back window. And it's also how he met my grandmother, because my grandmother was their daughter. And he went off to World War II, and he came back to a country that took care of its own, invested in its people, invested in a middle class that built an America that knew that freedom wasn't just an idea, that it was a promise. He got a good education on the GI Bill, he got a pathway to home ownership, and he became a union middle class, with a union middle class salary as a public school teacher over in Hadley, Luzerne, a social studies teacher for 40 years. And he raised our family to believe in that, to uphold that promise. And I built a life of public service, hoping to do so. At 17, I started in South Glens Falls, leading a community event as an organizer, organizing to raise hundreds of thousands of dollars for our families in the North Country that needed health care. The South High Marathon Dance, if you ever heard of it. It's happened for 50 years in South Glens Falls to raise money for our families that can't afford pediatric cancer treatments, can't afford life-saving surgeries, can't afford basic medical needs. And at 17, I called my 3rd grade teacher up and I told her that we would pay for her 9-month-old granddaughter's surgery. And that planted something in me. And I went off to college, and when I came back, I created a career that was focused on making sure that families like hers, families like yours, got that life of dignity. I started traveling with a former Secretary of State focused on rural America and what's been hollowed out by bad trade deals like NAFTA. Things we know right here at home have hollowed out our farmers and our small businesses, our local economies. I traveled the world on diplomatic missions with Vice President Harris, to the DMZ at the North Korean border, to Romania at the height of the Ukrainian war, through Europe and Africa, focused on economic development that strengthened our national security and brought investments back home for our businesses here. And I served the White House as a trade official with a top secret clearance, where I've sat at tables just like these with world leaders to talk about tariffs, to talk about trade deals, to take on the big monopolies that are jacking up our grocery, our healthcare, and our utility costs. You know, I've watched the news unfold this last week with the Supreme Court striking down these tariffs. You deserve your money back. We deserve our money back. And Donald Trump knows it, and he's scared. Because those tariffs were a tool of corruption. And all they were used for was to line the pockets of big monopolies and billionaires. Think back to April. When those tariffs came down on Liberation Day, the economy yo-yoed up and down. When those stocks were at its lowest, President Trump said, now's a good time to buy stocks. And the world's wealthiest scooped them up, and 90 minutes later, a pause came down. The world's wealthiest made $304 billion in one day. Our seniors lost their savings. Our small businesses had to lay off workers and struggled to make ends meet. Our families couldn't afford to put groceries on the table. Our farmers were retaliated against. Now we've seen diplomatic relations with Canada erode and a partnership with China. We need someone who has the vision and the experience to take on the powerful and say enough. We have been sold out for far too long as the very top keeps getting richer and richer while the North Country has been told time and again to settle for less. That's why I'm in this fight. I'm in this fight because I believe you deserve a raise. I believe we deserve Medicare for all while 5 of our hospitals here are on the brink of closure. I believe that we need to take on the big monopolies that have a chokehold on our democracy. They have corrupted America and have rigged the system for far too long. And I hope you join me in that fight. Because at the end of this is the idea of freedom, of taking it from an idea and making it into that promise, making it into the promise of the next generation after us. You know, I'm a partner of 9 years to my partner Sterling, and some of you have met him, and I'm so glad that you've seen him over the last couple of weeks out there with me. He grew up in rural Arkansas. My in-laws are Trump voters 3 times. We have these hard conversations every single day. But you want to know what we believe in? We believe in our country. We believe in the promise of freedom and the opportunity to thrive. We believe that each and every one of you deserve a life of dignity. I'm an uncle. I've got a niece B and 3 nephews. And I think a lot about what the America is that we are borrowing from them right now. Will they grow up in a place where B has the right to her own body? Will Benji and Leo and Teddy grow up to be able to afford to get a higher degree or go into vocational training, to start their own business? Will they be able to live in a safe community and a safe home, to marry who they want to love? That is the question in front of us. Will we side with the legacy of the North Country, where the American Revolution happened right here in our district, the idea of freedom and the opportunity to thrive, or will we side once again with the powerful and the billionaire class that has sold us out for far too long? I know where I'm at in that fight, and I hope you're there with me. To get there, I need each and every one of you to carry our petition, to join us at dylanhewitt.com, and for every person who's in this room, you know 5 people who are. So I ask you, when you exit, you say to those 5 people, come on in. This is our moment. It's every single one of your moment to stand up and make sure that that idea of freedom is the promise we give to the next generation here in the North Country. Thanks so much for having me.
Assemblyman Cashman couldn't be here. He had a meeting that was delayed. Was he on? Oh, perfect. Sure.
Nice meeting you.
Good evening, folks. Can you hear me? I just want to let you know that we just finished conference and I'm living the luxury life of eating a cheese sandwich for my dinner here in Albany. First and foremost, I want to thank the committee for all their support. Just recently, I had my 100th day in office. We've done 273 stakeholder meetings, 5 town halls, and one of the big things that I want to continue to address is that we keep punching back on the high utility rates. Today, I just had a meeting with the NYSEG CEO directly, and was able to have a very direct and honest conversation. Continue to push for affordability, safety, and planning for our future. As I promised Brandi and others in the committee, I would try to attempt to touch base as often as possible. My office is always open. But I actually want to thank all of the candidates for New York 21 for being at our committee tonight. It is an incredible thing to see people stepping forward in public service. So I want to thank all of them for engaging our committee. With that, I will yield the floor and answer any questions that anybody might have.
Any questions for Assemblyman Cashman?
Is it American cheese?
It is cabbage.
It better be cabbage. There we go.
Thank you. If you haven't already, you can sign up for Assemblyman Cashman's newsletter. I encourage you to do that and follow him on Facebook. He keeps us all informed very well. I know we're not surprised at that. So we're really lucky after 100 days. I have no buyer's remorse, that's for sure. With the chairperson's report, just a couple of things on the table. There's a two-sided flyer. We received information from both Steele and from Clark, information they have coming up about a fundraiser, separate, each for their own campaign. And I will email those out to the committee as well. So you guys have that information right in front of you, and we'll share the info on Facebook too, so you can make sure and go to that. And you'll see some things that are kind of out of order as we go through here. I caught copying and pasting. Because we're all set with the chairperson appointment. So we did that last month. We are still in need of a treasurer. Our funds stay the same as last month because since we do not have a treasurer, we did not write any checks and we did not make any deposits. I'm going to turn this over now to Mary. Join us up front.
I don't have a lot right now. At the end of the meeting, if any town chair is here, I have your petition packets. If somebody from the town committee is here and the chair is not, you are welcome to take theirs as well. We would like these back at the next meeting, which is the 24th. And when you do have your petitions, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call. I've included our numbers in the petition packet. If you need more, feel free to call us. We will get you as many as you like. Other than that, I know it's everybody's worst job that they have to do, but just think of the end result. Look how well we did last year. You know, let's let that ride that blue wave some more. Anybody have any questions?
Mary, do you have the candidate petitions? Okay, yeah.
For those on Zoom, maybe that couldn't hear Mary, she has the packets for the chairs, or anyone from the town committee, those town's committees that are here. We are asking that the petitions be turned back in at our meeting on the 24th of March. And I also want to point out, if everyone in this room would do one sheet, can you imagine just everyone in this room one sheet? There's 10 to 15 signatures on each one. Beautiful thing. Just grab one on your way out. And mail, or if you didn't grab one, you're like, great, I didn't grab one. Call, text me, Facebook me. I will mail to you a petition for anyone that you want. I did that last year. I just thought, you know what? I have these friends. I haven't seen them in a while. I'm going to send them this sob letter, and please fill this out. Half of them did. Some of them had 3. Some of them were filled up. Then they met me. They mailed them back. It was great. We got another 100 signatures just by that little effort. So anyone needs a petition, let me know, and we will get it to you. All right, and with that, we'll move on. Legislators in the House, if you have anything that you would like to add, what you have going on, how the year is going so far. I think we have 3. Yeah. All right, Dave Zile.
Yeah, so, good evening. Ron Darragon, new legislator, doing a great job. Dave Kerr, sitting over here, also doing a great job. Obviously, we just started the new year, so we just got our committee assignments. We've all each had one meeting, so we're starting to get the new guys starting to get their feet wet a little bit. Not a whole lot to say. We have a new airport manager that came on board in the last 30 days, so we're hoping that things will happen at the airport. Not a whole lot to report other than, although we were worried about the sales tax numbers. The sales tax numbers come in at the end of the year in the positive, so we ended up doing better than we expected. And we feel like we're headed in the same direction this year with only a month and a half under our feet. Other than that, unless someone has questions, not a whole lot going on yet.
Thank you, Legislator Bisayo. Appreciate that. Labor unions, Kim.
So the Tier 6 rally on March 8th is sold out, 15,000 seats. We'll be at the MVP Arena on March 8th, advocating for fixing Tier 6. There's only about 30 from the North Country going down on the NYSET bus, but there will still be 15,000 people in Albany. The Labor Council is having our legislative breakfast on March 7th at the American Legion on Quarry Road. I want to think it's 62 Quarry Road, I'm not positive of that. Doors will open at 8:30. Tickets are $5 for buffet breakfast. We have Dan Stack, Michael Cashman, and Matt Simpson are scheduled to be there. They will give a short presentation and then we'll have a question and answer period. It's always been a good event, and if you are a union member or a union adjacent person, attend please. That's at March 7th, Saturday at the American Legion on Quarry Road. If you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. We'll share that on Facebook. Those in Zoom, he was talking about the Tier 6, the fixed Tier 6 rally going on March 8th in Albany. 15,000?
15,000.
It's sold out. We're going to have a packed house trying to fix Tier 6. Also, the Labor Council hosting their legislative breakfast on March 7th, and we'll email information out about that as well. And then on to show up. I know there's a spaghetti dinner. The takeout, they have to order by this Friday, or?
They can call ahead. So for St. Joseph's Community Outreach, they're doing a fundraiser, $13 for spaghetti meal with garlic bread and a salad. So I think that's a pretty good deal. You can call ahead, or just show up day of, but they would prefer people to call ahead. And that is Saturday. The flyer is on Facebook. It's both on my page and also on, I believe it's also on Show Up, and also if you go to St. Joseph's Community, they have another, so there's two different flyers, but same information. They're also, Show Up's doing community connections at all the local libraries, working with the Clinton Essex Franklin Library System. And that's also a flyer that you can find on my page and on Show Up, and it's basically just using the library system, reminding people that they're there as a safe space to come together, talk about community opportunities, a way to get involved. And the last couple have just been random people that have come, and it's turned into a really great conversation. So there's that, and then I'm formally announcing the No Kings 3 rally. Indivisible and Show Up have finalized the date. Obviously the date's national, so it's March 28th. But it's going to be 2 to 3:30 in Plattsburgh on Cornelia Street, the same location as No Kings 2. We encourage chicken suits and blow up outfits. It was joyful last year. If I remember correctly, I really enjoyed it. But that's also far that we have planned ahead.
Pretty good. For Zoom, we'll share all this on Facebook too, and also send it by email. There's a takeout spaghetti dinner to benefit St. Joe's, $13 for spaghetti, all the fixings. You can order that ahead of time. Again, we'll share that information. Community connections going on throughout the county at area libraries. I'll share those dates. And then No Kings 3. Mark your calendars. No Kings 3, March 28th, 2 to 3:30, right on Cornelia, and fun outfits are encouraged. Yes, Kim.
I forgot one announcement. So Clinton Community College Faculty Association has affiliated with the New York State United Teachers, which is a good thing.
Oh. Yep, that is awesome. They've unionized. I saw that. I was excited. Thank you, Kim, for sharing. And as we go on to the endorsements, just want to share just love seeing all the new faces, and please don't take the rules as a reason to not. It's just a way for us to keep things in order. There'll be motions and seconds probably for some of the things that are coming up. Only members can motion or second. Doesn't mean that you being here is not appreciated. There's just rules to follow. If next time we're having a vote and you want to be one that can motion second or yes and no to it, find your town committee, get on the town committee, and then once you're with them and their rules, then they can then advance you on to joining this fun crew. And we meet on the 4th Tuesday of every month right here at 6 o'clock. And I'm gonna check with the town of Plattsburgh if it works with the schedule. I'd like to open up at 5:30 every time. It worked this time having the candidates, you guys can mill about. But I've been talking to a couple committee members and they say, who is that again? Or who is he? Or what does he look like? What's their name again? And we don't know who each other are anymore. We haven't done fun stuff together anymore. So we run in here, sit down just before 6, we listen and it's great information and we take it and we share it and we grow and we've done good things. But we don't know who each other is. So we're gonna open up at 5:30 and just come with your coffee, come with your cheese sandwich, or just whatever. If you wanna come, you haven't had time all day to look at Facebook, come sit down for 30 minutes and look at Facebook until Kevin comes and sits next to you and then you won't be able to look at Facebook anymore. He's gassed. All right. It's his birthday. He's 70. All right. So we'll just go from the top here with Governor. Governor Kathy Hochul is running for re-election. I would assume that she would care if she gets our endorsement, but I would welcome a motion if our committee would like to officially join other committees that have endorsed Governor Hochul running again for re-election.
Not a good look.
Yes, Jim.
I would like to endorse, make a motion to endorse Governor Hochul.
I'll second
Thank you. Second? I'll second. Second all over the room. Thank you, appreciate that. All right, a motion and a second for, to endorse Governor Hochul. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries, thank you. And for Comptroller DiNapoli. Motion, thank you, Kim. Second. Second, we have a second from Jeff, second on Zoom. All right, Comptroller DiNapoli endorsement, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Aye. Abstain? Motion carries. Attorney General Tish James, I make a motion to endorse her, so does Mary, we love her. That's the first and the second. A second from Sue Moore. All those in favor to endorse Attorney Tish James, Attorney General Tish James? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries, thank you. And then we'll entertain a motion for Senate. We heard Melissa Steele this little bit ago at the beginning of our meeting for the 45th District to go against Dan Steck. Do I have a motion for the endorsement? Yes. Julie?
I'll make the motion.
For Melissa? All right, thank you. And a second, Daryl? Okay. So we are a motion for Senator, running Senator Melissa Steele. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries, thank you. Assembly. Do I have a motion for Assembly? Yep. Chuck will make the motion and Kim Hartshorn seconds all over the room. So this endorsement is for Assembly for Michael Cashman. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Thank you. Supreme Court, 4th Judicial. We heard from Christine Clark tonight, and I would love to entertain a motion, please, for 4th Judicial District.
I'll move that.
Thank you. Janet McFedridge for Christine Clark, just to clarify. Yep, thank you. Mary with the second. All right, Christine Clark, Supreme Court, 4th Judicial District. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. All right, so for these, we heard from candidates that were interested in running from Assembly up, if you will. The next position is for Surrogate Court, so I welcome candidates that will be seeking that endorsement if they would like to address. You may at this time.
May I go?
Yes, would you like the mic?
No, I think I'm pretty loud. My husband tells me that all the time, so. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jamie Dalvett. I have lived in Plattsburgh since 2004, and when I got to town, the plan was to stay here for 2 years and then get legal experience and move on. And here it is, 2006, and I'm still here, and I love this community. It has been my honor to work for District Attorney Wiley since 2006. I'm a prosecutor. In 2019, I got promoted to Chief Assistant District Attorney. As a prosecutor, I absolutely love my job. My job is to seek justice for members of the community, for victims of crimes, and to seek justice and be fair and impartial. And I feel that my training over the past almost 20 years has laid the foundation for me to transition to judge. Because that's what the job of a judge is to be fair and impartial with all those who come before them. So it would be my honor, and thank you for letting me speak today to get the nomination. I would note that I did get the Working Family Party nomination yesterday. I'm very excited about that. It has been really wonderful to serve this community as a public servant, and I think that I would be a very wonderful judge, and I would love to continue serving this community for the next 10 years. Thank you so much.
Skip County Court Judge. And a fun story about that is I started with the Board of Elections in 2016, and so I always refer to, it was Keith Bruno then, and now he's Judge Bruno. But he was my first victim. So he'd come in the office, ask questions, and I'd be like, I have no idea. I'm going to find out. And he was so gracious. So if there's anyone here that wants to run for County Court Judge and they'd like to address us, we would love to have you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Lloyd. Good evening, members of the Clinton County Democrat Committee. I am Keith Bruno. I am the Clinton County Court Judge. This is difficult for me from this perspective. For 10 years I've been a judge. You can't be involved in politics. So a lot of you don't know me. And that's just the way it is. As Judge Clark said, appellate division, you can't be involved in politics. You can't talk about politics. So I stand before you humbly asking for your support. I ran 10 years ago. I was very successful, and I would like to run again. I enjoy being a judge. For those of you who don't know me, I was born and raised in Schuyler Falls. My father, who was deceased, was born on a farm. My mother was born on a farm in Peasville, one of 15 children. I know what hard work is. And I was talking to Mr. Lefebvre and Jim Gagnon, same diary on all this. When I was 12 or 13 or 14, I went and worked on Roger Dasnow's potato farm. I made $1 an hour. One day I made $10. I thought I was rich. I know, the purpose of that is, I know what it's like to work hard. I cannot be outworked in an election. I will go to the Polar Plunge. I will run at Rolf's Orchard, the 5K in the middle of July. I did it last time. My wife, my lovely wife was here, Deborah, works harder than I do because they do all the things. Blowing up the balloons, doing all the signs, but we're shaking hands and going. So, thank you. Anybody who wants to know how I am as a judge, ask the attorneys at South Patrick McFarland, the Honorable District Attorney, Andrew Wiley's in front of me, Chief Dalkett's in front of me. If you want to know how I am a judge, my philosophy is treat everybody how you want to be treated. That's how I was raised. When I judge a case, you try to be fair and impartial with respect to it. I'm humbled because we have Justice Clark here, and if I make mistakes, she's one of the judges who lets me know. But thank God I haven't been reversed too often on the call, but it does happen, so I appreciate her being here all the way up from Albany. But I look for your support, and as everybody has stated, I can't talk about issues, but it's like Hillary Clinton said, it takes a team to win an election. I'm going to ask for your support, those petitions. I just interpret the laws. I don't know why they moved it up to now, February to April. And I don't think they thought about Clinton County, but I ask for your support. I want to continue to be county court judge, and I'm very humbled to be standing here. And thank you, Chairman Lloyd. Thank you all very much.
And I know Sheriff Favreau, you addressed this last month, but if you wouldn't mind, we would love to. We have a bit of a bigger crowd here tonight, and Sheriff Favreau.
Sam just said if I keep it short, he'll make the first donation in my campaign. You'll have to keep your money, because I can't keep it short. We have several accomplishments that we can boast. We've been in law enforcement since 1982. We have started many programs. We have represented Clinton County at every level you can imagine, from movies that we've been involved in to representation in the media at a local level, at a national, and at an international level with the escape from Dannemora prison and with the northern border security issues that we've been facing. Our mission is to keep the community for our residents and guests as safe as possible while working in partnership with our community. Now, our community residents, our community political leaders, and all of our law enforcement partners, we have enjoyed the best relationship that I have seen in over 4 decades of law enforcement. We started in law enforcement in 1982, fresh out of college, and we have loved going to work every single day and enjoying it every single day. The job of a sheriff is very different. It's not what most people can imagine. We deal with civil, so we have to deal with property seizures. There's a lot of legal issues involving that. We deal with income executions, things that can be very risky and very unfortunate at times. We have the jail. That whole issue is major in itself, but we have a good team. The law enforcement piece on the street is the piece that you see publicly more often. The people in black. They do a great job. We have a committed staff that loves their work. They come in every day, they're dedicated. I believe, don't quote me, but I believe we may have ordered people in 2 times in my career as sheriff, that we've had to call somebody in and force them to work overtime and patrol, which I think is remarkable because I worked a lot of that myself and I know what it's like. We have put together some great programming, we have put together some great networking, and we are asking for your support. You're probably sitting here asking me, why does he keep saying we? That's everybody. Okay, everybody in this room can contribute something. Not one person in this room can contribute everything, but together we can accomplish anything. And I live by that motto because I can't do the great stuff that we do without our school partners, our fire department partners, our political partners, our law enforcement members, federal, local, state agencies that we have very strong communications with. I think one of our greatest goals that I can stand in front of you right now and say that we have accomplished is the closest car response protocol for all of Clinton County. When I took office, I use that word I and I don't like it, but when I took office in 2003, Clinton County Sheriff's Office did not have a road patrol. So if the state police got called to 9/11, which we've seen, to major riots in prisons, which we've seen, we can actually get left with very little, if any, law enforcement representation here in our county. So we recognize this and we started developing training programs, gathering equipment, getting involved with asset forfeiture programs to be able to seize hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy the equipment that we have now. When I sat in my office on day 1 and I watched a deputy come out and meet a correction officer in the hallway outside my door and take his .357 revolver, open it up and count the rounds in his cardboard boxes, Smith & Wesson, and make sure that the remaining rounds were in that cardboard box, I said, man, we're in for an uphill battle. This is going to be challenging. And now I believe we are one of the best equipped law enforcement agencies in the state. We support the missions of all the federal agencies, but most importantly, we uphold the laws and we are reachable. You will be hard pressed to find somebody that said, oh, I tried to reach the sheriff, I can never get him. I challenge that person to stand up face to face. I take every call, whether you're calling about your neighbor's cat, or whether you're calling about a burglary, or whether you're calling about a problem with a family member in the jail. If we don't take those calls turn into major, major cries for help that leads to the national disasters that we watch on television every single night. Usually it's because a call wasn't intervened early enough to be able to deal with. I could go on for a while, but I won't. I thank you very much. I truly thank you for the past 6 campaigns that you've supported. I look around, I see Mr. Todd back there and Arthur. God bless you, my son. You're absolutely remarkable and an inspiration to all of us. I miss a lot of our colleagues that aren't with us this evening, so let's take a second and think about those wonderful folks. But our team, needs your help. We talked about signatures earlier. I get really paranoid with those. You'll find out. I mean, I called Mary, I can't tell you how many times, how we doing, how we doing, how we doing. And it's nerve-wracking when you're doing a campaign across the county. It's a lot of signatures to have to get, especially in a short amount of time, but most importantly, terrible time of year. It's really difficult. If anyone has any particular questions, I can hang around. I'll be glad to answer them afterwards. And Judge Bruno, you asked all the judges and everything, what they, you were looking for opinions and comments. I want to tell you ours too, because Judge Bruno is fair, firm, and consistent. Not easy, but fair, firm, and consistent. And we have great pleasure in working with him. Thank you for your support, and we look forward to continuing for you.
So we'll go ahead with those that we've heard from, back to those positions, and entertain any motions to endorse that anyone wants to. And with this process in our bylaws, this is the time frame that we make any endorsements that we as a majority of the committee want to make. So we are not forced to make endorsements, but we'll start then with county court judge. Do I have any motions to make an endorsement for a county court judge? Several.
Madam Chairman, it is my pleasure as a senior Democrat committee since 1950 to submit the name of Keith Bruno as continued job as county judge. I've known his family for so many years, and they have made themselves available as his father, as supervisor. And as time goes on, he's done an outstanding job. And it's always a pleasure to support people like that. And I ask you to give him his vote. He needs it more than ever. He doesn't think so, but I think so.
Still Todd?
I'll second it.
All right, we have several seconds. Thank you, Mr. LaFave. All right, so we have a motion for Judge Bruno for county court judge. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Thank you. And on to surrogate court judge.
Before you move on, thank you all very much.
Sorry about
Humbled by the endorsement again, because I know a lot of you may not know me personally, but thank you.
Nominations for surrogate court judge.
Art LaFave's a tough act to follow. He's got me by 29 years. How many years, Art? How old are you?
That's nice. If I had lived to May, I'll be 98.
All right, he's got me by 28 years. All you candidates out there, Art used to say 2 ways to run, unopposed and scared. I have the pleasure and the honor of nominating today for circuit court judge Jamie Douthit. She worked with me in my court for several years. She has the intellect, she has the temperament, she has the ability to be a fine judge. She has all the talent in the world, she has all the desire in the world, but most importantly is the temperament. The temperament is what she has. She will make a super judge. And I would ask that you help me support her. I need a second.
I'd like to second. We have a second from Tamber. So a motion and a second to endorse for surrogate court judge Jamie Douthit. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Thank you. And then, absolutely.
Thank you so much. This is such an honor. I actually was here 10 years ago when Judge Bruno got nominated the last time, and this has been my dream since then, so thank you so much.
All right, and any nominations for an endorsement for county sheriff? Yes, Sam?
I would like to nominate Dave Favreau. And, you know, we joke and kid a lot with Dave, but I've known him as a town supervisor. I've known him as a county legislator. And when I chaired the legislature, Dave always brought one thing to the table. He's as much of a manager as he is a sheriff. And one thing that really stuck in my head was when it doesn't matter who you are, what board you're on, or where you serve, anybody can complain, but he would tell his deputies or tell anybody else, come with a solution if you come with a problem. And that's what he's saying when he's asking everybody that he, you know, we, because Dave is a team player. And I think Dave has caught a lot of flack for a lot of things that he shouldn't have had to. And Dave, one thing I will say is we haven't heard any negativity this time yet. You know, every time when you run, we don't hear anything for 3 years. The year you run, we hear some BS.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes, but you know, he's a class act, and he's done a super job for this county for a long time. And I think that there's nobody in this room that should not support Dave Favreau.
We have a motion and a second from Bill Todd.
Second that also.
Second from Art LaFave. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, we have a motion for an endorsement for County Sheriff, Sheriff Favreau. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Thank you. We normally, delegates for 4th Judicial District, that normally isn't there. For those that don't know, there aren't petitions passed for that position for Christine Clark. There's a convention, and it's not as cool as it sounds. We usually convene in like Albany in a courthouse, and the people that are on that petition go down to Albany for this usually 15-20 minute meeting, and we pick who's going to run for judge. And not to downplay it, Christine, but for the normal folks in the room, that's how that goes.
Yeah, I think it's Glens Falls though, so it's not
It's in Glens Falls. Okay, don't think about
Glens Falls.
It's in Glens Falls. Not quite as far as
Not
Albany,
quite as
but
far, but
we're
it's still
full. We
not-
have 9 people. That's the max we can have on there between, and we share this petition with Essex, Franklin, and Clinton County. We have 9 people and a couple alternates, so that's all we ask is that we make sure that's full. State committee person, that also comes up in the even years. As per New York State rules, they cannot be of the same sex, so non-binary, male, female. We just can't have 2 males, 2 females, 2 non-binary. So we'll entertain, would any of the candidates first like to speak before we do, or those that are interested in being candidates, or? Yes, Sid?
Would you like it?
Feel free to come forward if you want. Thank you. If you want, it's up to you.
Yeah, just, well, brief is hard for me when I speak. I was an English teacher. All right. My name is Sydney Gurant, and I am from the town of Beekmantown, the beautiful town of Beekmantown. I have been a Democrat since I was 18 years old, so it's a little bit. And some of you don't know, but I worked on the county committee for, 15 years and 12 years. I was vice chair and corresponding officer of the committee. That was the way we did it back then. So some of the people in here used to hear from me a lot, and others of you don't really know who I am. I can tell you that I loved what I did, absolutely. The Democratic Party has been in my blood since I was born, and getting involved in it was something that made me very happy when I was finally old enough to do that. That being said, being part of the county committee was absolutely amazing. You had wonderful, wonderful people to work with, and we had great success. Marty Mannix was the chair of the committee. We had known each other since we were kids, and we worked on democratic things, and so we worked together on the committee. We had great success, some not. Every once in a while we lost things, but our county was a very strong, thank you, Art, Democratic committee. We did have a few bumps. I can remember one time we couldn't find a candidate for one of the judges' positions. We finally did get a candidate, and the Republican candidate was very strong. And the strangest thing happened to me wherever I went and ran into Republican judges, 4 of them, and some of the Republican people, they were giving me money quietly. I didn't know what to do. I kept saying, you know, I'd be in the grocery store. Well, anyway, it was bizarre, but we checked the legality of the whole thing, and we did what we needed to do. However, we did not succeed in the end, but that was, I will never forget that. That was the most bizarre thing that's ever happened to me in my life at the grocery store. What, huh? Anyway, that being said, I'm going to move on. My profession, I was an English teacher at Bigmantown for 17 years, then I became a school counselor. Then I became an administrator and directed the school counseling program and the social work program at Bigmantown Central School. All right. Now, besides on the county committee here, being an officer, I did get elected to be our state representative to the Democratic Committee, the State Democratic Committee, and I served many, many years doing that. I loved it. And the one thing that I want you to know about me is I firmly believe when you do something like that, you embody the word representative. So what you do is you go to the meetings, and when you can, you bring the information back and you meet with your executive committee, particularly the chair of the county committee. You explain to any of the members what's going on. I was an English teacher, so corresponding is not a problem for me. I used to write a lot, now I text. Well, I'll get into that in a second, but anyway, I can do that, I will do that. My belief is that when you represent people, you find out what the group wants. Always, always in communication with the leaders of the group, and then you go back and vote that way. You do run into times where something comes up at like the state committee, and there isn't time to get to the whole group. But the wonderful thing about this day and age is texting. You can get to people quickly, and you can get an answer, or at least an opinion. And then you go and vote as best you can, following what the county committee wants. And I vow to you, I will continue to do that. I want you to know that I have not been active in the county committee for, well, it's been 9 years now. After 12 years, I felt it was time to step aside. It's time for other people to take over. And I got involved with the SUNY Plattsburgh College Council, which is somewhat like a school board. And when I get involved in something, I get involved in it. And I have been working very hard. We've had lots of things go on, as you well know. Drop in enrollment, we worked hard, came back up. I just want you to know what I've been doing. And then we had COVID, that was fun. We had a president, it took us, thank you to SUNY headquarters, two different 3 months of trying to find candidates from around the world for the president of the college. Anyway, that amount of time was unbelievable. We appointed somebody, they finally agreed, and COVID hit. The poor gentleman was here like 6 weeks, and he had to take care of what was going on with SUNY Plattsburgh. So I worked great hours, forever, trying to help with that. And then we also got things pretty well settled, and then Clinton Community College became, well, I'm going to say they're associated with us. We do not run them at all, but they're associated with us. And so I stayed through that. It's now time for me to go away from that position, in my opinion. All right, now, with what's going on in this country, I have to tell you, like probably most of you here, it enrages me. So I want to come back. I want to come back and work with the Democrats. And I also was looking for some way I could get involved, and I found out that the state rep committee position is open. So I talked to Brandi, I talked to Mary, I talked to people that I know on the committee, and I decided I was going to run. And I want you to know, again, I'm running for many reasons. I'm running because I'm enraged. I'm running because I'm so proud of New York State. I can tell you that this college and all of SUNY stuck with DEI, has stuck with helping students get their help that they need, even though it's been cut, not just upward bound, they cut upward bound, so we're doing what we can to try to help Clinton County students get into college and get the help they need academically, if they need so, and the finances. Not only that, I'm gonna be honest with you, it hit home. My oldest daughter has been a lawyer at the Kennedy Center for 26 years. She is a card-carrying member of NOW. She is a liberal Democrat, and she's holding on by a thread because after 20 some odd years, she's built up retirement incentives, blah, blah, blah. And, well, the message we got from her last Friday was, well, I made the cut, they're keeping me on for 5 more days. It is horrifying. There's 2,567 employees, just like the state employees all over the country. Boom. They're gone. The program is gone. So it is also personal with me. I want to get involved. I want to get involved because I love this party, I love this county, I love New York State. I know a lot of people bitch about it, pardon my language. But I'm telling you, when you talk to people from other states and you realize the protections we have for all parts of our existence, be it health, be it our jobs, this is the place to be. Along with, I would say, the Northeast. I am really proud of the Northeast. So, all that being said, I'm asking you for your vote. I would love to represent you again. Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to be considered for the state committee person?
Yeah, I will do my best to keep this brief as well. My name is Ben Lloyd. I think most of you know me here. You probably know me here actually as Brandi's son. I'm Clinton County born and raised, and I would love to be your next state committeeman. Most of my involvement in the Clinton County Democrats has been through constituent engagement, so petitioning, canvassing, phone banking, all the super fun stuff. I was telling my mom actually before this, between her 2 county clerk campaigns and in 2022 I worked on Matt Castelli's congressional campaign. I probably knocked on or talked to the vast majority of voters in all of Clinton County. I mean that's a lot more doors than I think we'd think of, but at least definitely all of Plattsburgh and all of Peru and Rouse's Point, like a lot of the main areas, especially through Matt Castelli's campaign. It's been a lot, but I think the grassroots type of organizations is how we really get our candidates to win. Additionally, in 2023, I interned with Senator Kirsten Gillibrand. A big part of that job was corresponding with electeds across the North Country, talking to them about the issues that they were having and how we could resolve those issues through the Senator's efforts. I think these experiences that I've just outlined have made me a good fit for this role, a good fit to represent you all in the state committee. I understand that there will be some challenges and a lot to learn along the way, but I'm ready to embrace those things. So thank you very much for your consideration of my candidacy, and I look forward to hopefully having your support. Thank you.
Any other candidates for state committee person that would like to be?
My name is Kimberly Davis, and I am currently the female state committee person for this committee. And I just want it to be known that I am not running for this position.
Thank you. All right, so with that, before we get to the congressional race, state committee, we've heard from 2. We'll entertain, we can do the motions together if everybody is okay with that. Yes, Chuck.
I'd like to make that motion. I'll second it.
For both Sid and Ben?
Sid and Ben.
And second, okay.
And I want to thank Ben for stepping forward. I think we need some young blood down there.
Yes, For Sid and Ben for state committee people, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, with the congressional race, the NY 21. Entertain a motion? Yes.
I would like to make a motion that we do not endorse any candidates for District 21. I have my reasons, okay, and I'm just going to impart them to you. We've heard 3 fine candidates this evening speak, and all very talented men, all impassioned. They really want to change things in Washington. We have all 3 of them. And I don't know, judging from what I've seen in my years in politics, if you're in a primary, which I've been, if you're in a caucus, which I've been, it sharpens you as a candidate to run. When you have to run in a primary or you have to run in a caucus, you're sharper. You work harder. Okay? And that's, believe me, if you were to ask me who I was going to vote for right now, I don't know if I'd tell you. I don't know if I could really tell you, because they all have fine qualities. And that's just my position. Second reason is, we have a Democratic organization that puts the Republican organization to shame. If you look around this room, and you look at, we are a coalition. We have built a coalition in the last year. We have organizations like Indivisible, Show Up, and we have so many people who have been politically motivated in the last year and a half, that I want those people to have a say. And a primary gives them a say.
Thank you.
All right? I'm just, that's just my, it's my prediction. It's, by the way, you guys did a great job singing Happy Birthday. But it's the way I feel. And again, we want to foster and feed our coalitions, all of them. I have so many people have come up to me and said, well, how do I get involved? What do I do? How do I do? And we never had that before like that. I mean, nobody ever walked up to me in the street anyway, but they want to be involved. We have all these people that want to be a part of this movement to change America and our community and our country. And we just heard 3 great guys tonight. I don't know, they were all pretty good to me. They all have their good points and their bad points and their qualities. But again, I'm making the motion to not endorse for District 21.
Thank you.
Before you do that, don't we usually vote for people when we have more than one candidate? Don't we usually have a secret election here?
For right now, do we have a second for this motion first? Yes, Kim?
Yes.
There's a couple seconds. Okay, so now we have a motion and a second. We can open for discussion.
Like I said, I don't think that we should do this without a vote. There should be a secret ballot on this vote of who we're going to support.
Right now, the motion is to endorse or not endorse, and depending on the outcome, then we'll move on to which candidate if it's to endorse. Sam?
Brandi, I have a couple questions. Whether we endorse or don't is immaterial, but I think the problem is the Working Families has already endorsed somebody, okay? So if that candidate fails in the primary, where is that candidate going to be? Is he going to be a spoiler in the election, or is he going to be off the ballot? I have to know that before I can consider what Judge Patton would have said. Because what's happened here is we have a party that's very small that wants to dictate what this Democratic Party does. And we have a candidate that you and every other chairperson in this area has endorsed for the last 22 months, okay? He has stepped up when nobody else wanted to run against Elise, okay? And he's done a very good job, and he's raised many, many dollars, okay? So I want to know where these candidates are, if they're going to stay in the race and be spoilers, or if they're going to step out at the end of the Democratic primary.
I know that's an option that they can...
It's an option that I think that candidate should answer the question, okay? And if he doesn't, I would like to entertain another motion after this question is called on the floor.
It's up to you, I don't want to put you on the spot.
It's okay. I've been on the record publicly saying that I will support the Democrat in November.
Everyone's very good. So if there's a primary and you're not successful, there's a.
The process is that I think anyone who's on the Working Family Party has 2 weeks to decline.
Yep, there's a window that opens up for declination of a nomination. So Dylan, who does have the WFP, said he will decline that nomination. It's going in the minutes.
Will
If
the
he doesn't win
Working
the
Families
Democratic.
Party take him off the ballot?
That takes him off the ballot.
No, I said, will the Working Families take him off?
They have to, because there's New York State election law, there's a 9.5 years there. There's an opening for once you lose a primary, any other subsequent lines you had prior to that primary, there's a window that opens for you to decline it after the fact.
Can I also just say I did also step up in the special election, and so that was a process that multiple people stepped up for.
Yeah, the special election guidance of, I was called the chair of chairs, directed the chairs during the special election when we thought Elise was going to go away with an appointment to the UN. I am not positive, was it 5 people we got down to? We had 4 people we got down to, and all the chairs met downstate and we interviewed all of them. And Dylan was one of those candidates that we did interview when we all were meeting with Blake as well. So it was Blake, Dylan, and and Paula Collins, and I can't remember her name. I'm sorry. I can't remember what I had for dinner last night. So, oh yes, I had shredded wheat. All right, so yes, Jeff. Jim, on next, Jim.
Well, I'd just like to say, we're the leaders, we come and discuss things here about the party. I think we should have the wherewithal to select somebody that we think should be our candidate for this position. I don't think we should duck anything. I think we should move forward with picking a candidate we think is going to be the most electable for our congressional district. I don't think we should duck it. I don't think we should avoid it. I think we should take it head on and vote somebody in there that we think will best represent us and has the best chance to win. That, as leaders, that's what we should do. We should pick somebody and stand up and say, hey, this is where we're at. I don't know why we should.
What are we doing back there?
Select somebody. That's all.
At a February meeting in 2025, after 15 counties out of 15 counties endorsed Blake Gendebine, the statement that came from that committee was, he was an outsider to the political agenda who embodies the voice and grit that distinguishes this district. From the other side of the aisle, Ed Cox, the New York State Republican chair, said that Gendebine was a far left radical. Typical comment from that side. I did not know who he was at that point. When I spoke to you, I think the first words you mentioned in describing him to me was that he was a dairy farmer, and that kind of caught my ear. I grew up on a dairy farm. I know what hard work is. It's not an 8 to 4 job or 9 to 5 job. You work until the job is done that day. During harvest season, planting season, the equipment breaks down. You deal with it because you need it going. You're always dealing with the weather, whatever. Since that endorsement, he's done an incredible job. He's been to this county, I know of 7 times. So I assume he's been around throughout the district as many times. And when he goes to these meetings, he talks to people and he listens to them. He's not dictating to him his message. But he does speak. He interacts with people. Other things he does too is that it's not easy for a lot of people to speak publicly. I don't particularly enjoy it myself, but and he usually is off to the side of the room and offers those people that want to address him privately an opportunity to do that. I want to talk about the Working Families Party and the Clinton County Democratic Committee. This committee here represents 52 voting districts throughout the county. 14 towns, I think, plus the city of Plattsburgh. So basically every election district in the county has probably 2 county committee people. They may have 4, depending upon how they want to split their vote. And when I circulate petitions every year, you're presenting them to your neighbors and they ask you why they got to sign this petition for this candidate. He's already in office. I said, well, his term's up. I says, he wants to run again. I says, this is the way we do it. We present it to our voters to vote on. I says, it's not a bunch of old white guys sitting in the back room smoking cigars picking candidates. Now the Working Families Party, do they have a party in Moores? Town of Plattsburgh, there's some committee members. Do they have a Working Families Party in Plattsburgh?
Yes.
Yeah.
They do? It's an established party?
Very
Officers?
Yeah.
Who are the officers?
Tom Wood is main guy here.
Jay White. Elliot.
I believe what it is a New York City party that has an extension up here.
No.
And to get their nomination, basically you go online, you fill out an application, and if you're somewhat astute, you know how to answer the questions if you want their nomination. You can join the party, or in years past, you could pay $35 and sit on the interviews. I did that a few years. And I recall a Republican councilman seeking the nomination, their endorsement, I should say. And there was one issue he didn't agree with them, so they wouldn't endorse him. Have any of you ever voted for a candidate where you agreed with every one of their positions? This fall, when you get your ballot, look at the candidates in the Republican line. And you're going to see ditto a line or 2 down for the conservative line. The conservatives fall in line. Working families, they pick who they want to. And you have to go to them to seek that. They don't approach all the candidates saying, why don't you come in for an interview? The problem with going to a primary is that it suspends fundraising. And it's going to take a whole lot of dollars to win this race. We have one candidate that's raised millions, and from what I've seen online, there hasn't been much money raised by the other candidates. If you go to a primary, it suspends fundraising. People are not contributing. On the other side, we got one guy that's throwing in $7.5 million of his own money. You can assume there'll be a lot more coming in. So basically with the primary, you lose 3 months of fundraising. We've endorsed a candidate. He's gone out and he's done his job, done an incredible job. And I say that we support him.
Julie?
I get that I'm pretty relatively new to this. It's only been 5 years that I've been like actively in politics, and I'm part of the city committee. In fact, I just took over chair last night, and we had much of this discussion last night at that committee meeting about whether we endorse before a certain period of time, whether we endorse at all. My understanding, and if I'm wrong, I concede. Aren't we supposed to be doing that? Isn't that why we're here? Aren't we supposed to say, you know, that we have faith in this particular person? Aren't we supposed to say this is who we, at the time that we, for the lack of a better terminology, believe in? This person has what we as Democrats are standing for. They encompass this, they encompass that. If we don't endorse somebody specific, I agree, we're going to lose, they're going to lose that time to fundraise. And I'm not saying it in no disrespect, oh my God, he's wonderful, and I would never ever disagree with him mostly. I do now. I think that an endorsement has to happen. We did it once, why, we done it already, all night long, why does this make it any different? So that's just my opinion.
They're uncontested. They're not, we support all Democrats in this.
Absolutely.
And I don't, by the way,
Order.
I'm not saying that we should endorse a candidate that I'm choosing.
Neither am I,
Yeah,
neither am I.
No, I think that we are attracting an umbrella of voters, and we are cutting ourselves off at the knees when we endorse ahead of a primary. Once the primary happens, it's all of our responsibilities to get ahead of the.
Can I take the floor back, please? I'm sorry, Justin. but
Sorry.
It's, I really seriously believe that whoever, anybody in here decides to support, whether it's A, B, or C, I'm not even gonna name people. We need an endorsement, we need somebody to fall in behind. I'm sorry, that's my opinion.
Everyone, sorry, I'm extremely new here. My name is Patricia Barnett, I live in Katyville. I had no intention to speak tonight. But what I want to say is our democracy has been under attack for the past year at the federal level. The vibe that I'm getting, the feeling that I'm getting now, is that our democracy is being attacked right now by forcing us into. And I understand for the special election there was an endorsement made, but I think I agree with Judge Padmore that we should do a primary, because we haven't gotten the chance to speak yet, and give us all a chance to speak, rather than strong-arming us into a decision that we're not collectively ready to make.
The endorsement doesn't mean there won't be a primary.
Yeah.
I understand that, but are we all collectively ready to make an endorsement? We just literally heard each candidate speak.
I am, I've been paying
tonight.
attention for a long time.
Well, as have I, but I know that what I've heard from here, some people are ready to make an endorsement, some are not. It's still very fresh, at least to a lot of us, that we have 3 viable candidates, and let's hold off. Let's not collectively push ourselves into a candidate, and that's all I wanted to say.
Well, that's why we have to vote. That's why we vote for it, so that we can make the determined from everybody in here.
I just want to real quick check on.
It's usually a secret ballot.
That's said anything to you, Chuck? It's hard to tell. Okay, any, just Sam? Oh, no, if I could Kim hasn't spoken yet, I'm gonna Kim and then Kim real quick.
I was actually gonna call the question.
You're gonna what?
I was gonna call the question.
Call the question. Do you need to say something before we call the question? Sam?
No, I think this is a county committee vote, and I don't know if everybody that's speaking is a county committee member. So I don't know, but we're looking for a county committee, I'm looking for a county committee endorsement.
Okay, so we have a motion, we have a second. We've had discussion. Any further discussion?
Can we table it?
I just wanted to add one
Excuse me.
thing.
Let's just see, sorry.
I just wanted to make sure that people know how the vote, if we're voting yes, that means you don't want to endorse, and vote no, you do want to endorse. So just
Yeah, so
people
the
to clear
clear,
room
yeah,
what
agree.
they're-
The motion on the table is to not endorse. So when we hold a vote, if you're voting, you agree to not endorse. So a yes is to not endorse. So a yes is yes, not endorse, no is you want to endorse. Does everybody understand? Yes.
I was just selected this evening, am I allowed to vote?
No.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'm making.
Yep, it's in our bylaws, you have to be a member in good standing. In addition to being added to the county committee, then you have to be a member in good standing.
Gotcha.
It's 25%, so it's meeting, depending on how many times we've met in a year, 2.75 times in a year. It's not a huge commitment, but we have to make it some sort of a commitment. Any other discussion?
I'm not the discussion, Kim had called the question.
Yes.
But I would like to have a show of hands, because there's so many people in here,
We don't know who's members of
well, no, that, you know,
Oh,
higher.
instead of higher, understood.
We should have a vote.
Why don't you stand up in front of us so we know who's voting for what? Because I can't see anyone, and I want to see the faces of the people that aren't listening to the people they represent.
We
So
can
we
have
have
a
a
show of
question,
hands.
yeah, we have a question with a show of hands. So the motion is we're gonna not endorse on the 21st, in a not endorse, you say yes. So all those who want to not endorse, and
Do we raise our hands?
yes, just raise their hands. Mary, did you have a question?
Maybe you ought to turn it around, because I think people are gonna get
Right.
either yes, you wanna endorse, or no, you don't. That way it's easy.
Kevin, do you want to change the motion in a way that's better understood?
Any way,
It's-
any way that will facilitate getting it done. Either way.
So all those in favor of not endorsing, does that make sense?
Yep.
All those in favor of not endorsing, raise your hand.
That's what I got.
And then, will you please count, and you please count, what two counts? Get your hands up. Get your hands And those that want to endorse, show your hands.
Did you count Zoom?
Are they saying?
Did you count Zoom? No.
We'll add them in after. One's So it was close, 17 to not, 16 to not endorse, and 17 to endorse. So then the motion is not, your motion failed, so we will endorse in the New York one.
Did you ask me if I was Molly? I used to, but no, not me.
Uh-oh, Sam, I think we made an enemy.
I'd like to make a motion to endorse Blake.
We have a motion on the table to endorse Blake Gendevine. Do I have a second? A couple seconds, Terry and Julie.
We're interchangeable.
Any discussion on the motion to endorse Blake Gendevine with first and second? And hearing nothing else, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
So should we switch to right? Well, someone has to make a motion to change the rate. Okay. Okay, so just so we're all paying attention, because I know there's some commotion, people coming and going. So we have a motion on the table and a second to endorse Blake Gendevine. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good voice. Aye. We have to have a motion, or have to bring that back to do a show of hand, if that's what we want to do. We want to back
I'll
that
make a motion to do show.
up. Okay, thank you.
Shouldn't there be a paper ballot?
Show of hands.
All right, so all those in favor by show of hand to endorse Blake Gendevine. Once again. And you want to get online? Yep. So all those in favor, we have a show of hand, opposed, a show of hand.
This got out of hand.
Kevin. This is opposed to endorsing Blake Genevieve. Any online? This 23 yes to endorse Blake Genevieve and 7 no. The motion carries to endorse Blake Genevieve.
Jeff.
Yes, Jeff.
I just have one thing to say. This is in no way lessening other candidates. If they win the primary, I will gladly swing. Endorse what it is. I feel done what we should do.
That's what he's saying, yeah.
And I have nothing against, we have 2 other outstanding candidates. One I think is very capable also, and however the primary turns out, I will support them 100%.
Old business or community announcements? Or is everybody ready to go? All right, hopefully we see everyone here, and even everyone that's already left. Everyone is welcome. I'd love to see all the faces here. Our next meeting is coming up on March 24th at 6 o'clock. Also, not a reminder, it's from 5:30. Make sure the chairs, and if your chair of your town committee isn't here, pick up the packet for them, please, so we don't have to know that. Happy birthday. And a motion to adjourn? Julie, second, Ray, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your patience. Long meeting, I know.
Yeah.